Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing my unboxing of the HG Iron Blooded Orphans Graze Ein. Now here we have finally the last version of the Graze to come out of the first season of Iron Blooded Orphans. Are we going to see more in the second season? I'm not sure, but it's probably safe to say yes in some way or another, but I don't know, who knows, we'll see. It'd be nice to move on to something new, but that's probably not going to happen. Anyway, in this form we have it's much larger, much meaner, and much more deadly, as we saw right near the end of the series. I guess, spoiler alert, just in case anyone hasn't finished watching the series yet, it just kind of appears out of nowhere. Well, I guess it didn't appear out of nowhere. It was kind of shown a little bit before, but it comes in and just wrecks house and just destroys everything, and only the Barbatos is barely able to stop it. And yeah, so it's just kind of like the final boss of the series, sort of. So it's kind of interesting that the final boss was just a version of the grunt suit, which is kind of interesting, but it's definitely a much more lethal version of the grunt suit. So it's got axes, it's got like turrets in the shoulders, it's got weird spinny blade drill feet, and it's got all that included here in the kit, so it should be pretty cool. Pretty interesting box art here on the front. It's different, so I like that. It's, you know, like coming from the angle here of like the street level, looking up at this giant mobile suit. So it's a kind of different angle. I like that. Here we have Ein himself there, the namesake of the mobile suit. And yeah, otherwise just pretty normal mobile suit Iron Blooded Orphans box art here. If we go around onto the bottom, you can see this is number 18 in the line. So I got 18 HG kits out of the first. Well, is this the last one? Yeah, I believe so, right? Yeah, the Astaroth will be probably number 19, but it wasn't actually featured in the anime, so I guess from the first season they got 18 high-grade kits out of that. Pretty good. Here on the side, we're just going to have some action poses here. There it is, all posed up, looking very dynamic, which is good. I like that. There's the turrets, drop down in the shoulder. Those are going to be part swapped, so you'll have to just put that piece in there separately. The axes, 2 of them are going to attach onto the back. It's got the 2 different feet, an open feet and closed feet. I know those are separate pieces. Again, for that one as well, you'll have to switch that if that's what you want. For the face as well, I'm not sure how that's going to work, if that is going to open up or if that's like separate pieces. I'm not sure. I'm guessing that's probably just going to open up like the regular Graze head, but we'll just have to see. Very interesting, cool design for the head of that, though. I do like that quite a bit. Then here, I always almost forget about this. It does have the pile drivers there in the arm as well. Really cool feature. I'm interested to see how those are going to work. As far as I can tell, it's just going to be like just sliding the piece back and forth. But it'll be interesting if there's going to be something a little bit more to it than that. And then here in the back of the leg, going to have this cool like thruster, that part that kind of folds out. So that should be interesting. I don't know how much of the original Graze inner frame this is going to use. Probably not much. I'm guessing this is going to be an almost entirely new inner frame. It looks, part of the leg maybe is going to be recycled, but this lower part maybe not. So I don't know. I'm guessing the frame is probably going to be all new. Display here, then of course you can just have it fighting against your Form 6 Barbatos. On the other side, we're just going to have a front and rear view of the painted kit there. And then more about the suit and the pilot and the series, all of that, same as usual. And then 1,400 yen, so the highest price point for just the standard kits from the Iron Blooded Orphans, but that shouldn't come as too much of a surprise. As I said, it's big and it has kind of a lot of gimmicks built in. So here on here, I can see we do have the regular Graze fame, interestingly. Sorry you can't see that, it's blurry. There we go. We will take a closer look at that in a moment, but that's interesting. Some more familiar looking Graze parts in there, and some black parts. Pretty cool. And there's our weapons, axes, and big giant new parts, very large parts there. So here's going to be our instruction manual. I got the box art there on the top. On the bottom, a little bit more information there about the mobile suit itself. Should have a pretty interesting story there. I wish I could have the English version of that, because this is like supposed to be what was like the kind of prototype for the Graze at first or something like that. It's sort of similar to like what the Tall Geese was for the Leo suits in Gundam Wing. Similar to that anyway, I guess. And then something here then about Ein. himself. And then just, again, sort of some more action shots, gimmicks about the head, the weapon, the weapons, and all of that. Interestingly, the pile driver in Japanese is called a pile banka. So they mix kind of like a pile driver and bunker buster or something. I don't know. Interesting name. Color guide there is going to be pretty simple if you wanted to take a look at that. There's all the percentages for the exact colors if you're interested. Let's get around here to our parts list. Here is that. I'm going to be using a lot of it except for here on the D runner, where the D runner is the Graze frame. So I can tell that just from looking at it initially. And just based on all the X's I'm seeing there on D1 and D2, yeah, that is the original Graze frame here. So a lot of this is not going to be used there, and then a lot of the polycaps not used as well. It looks like we're really only going to be using like 6 polycaps in there, so interesting. Going through the construction is going to be pretty standard, I'm guessing, starting off with the body, then onto the head, then onto the arms, arm, left arm, right arm, all of that, then moving on to the legs, left leg, right leg, onto the color pages is going to be finishing up the legs. There, then our waist section, which is going to be relatively simple there, it looks like, then putting it all together, and then the backpack again, which is also looking very simple, and then putting that on, and then just sort of a bit about the gimmicks there, weapons, or I should say just weapons, and then here, equipping the weapons, and then how to use these so you can like flip up the backpack and then flip back the arms to grab those. And then you can open up the shoulders and put this piece in there for the little turrets. And then you can switch out the parts on the feet to make the drill feet. So anyway, that's it. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at the runners. So here is our foil sticker sheet. The 3 yellow bars, they're going to be very similar, the exact same yellow stickers that we've seen on other previous versions of the Graze. And then we just have, similarly, our 2 stickers there, one red and black, one yellow and black, for the different cameras on the head, and that's it. PC002, again, standard polycap runner here for the HG Iron Blooded Orphans kits and many HG kits of these days. Runner A is going to be all new parts here. There's our feet, some new inner frame parts there I can see for the thighs. It looks like new hands there. Hands are looking very large, and just a bunch of new, there's inner frame parts for the head as well. So mostly just new frame and detail parts and all of that. The runner marking on this is going to be HG 1/44 scale Graze Ein. Runner B here is molded in a dark navy, but it's kind of a dull navy color. It's not like a really bright blue navy. It's a kind of grayish navy. And this is going to be most of our armor parts. We do have some parts in black as well, but this is going to be the main color of everything, so it's going to be pretty dark mobile suit. C runner here is nothing new, as you can tell from the 1/44 scale Graze marking there at the top. It's the same 3 Graze parts we've had with every version of the Graze that go inside the torso. Runner D1 here, also not new, as we have a segmented part of the Graze frame, and that's the marking on here, Graze frame. And again, we're not going to be using some of these parts here. I believe it was these 4 parts there in the center, maybe these as well. But some of them we will use. And then similarly here with runner D2 as well. Again, this one is also marked Graze frame. And there's a bunch of these parts we're not going to be using, but a handful of them we will. Runner E is back to more new parts, as we have our black parts here. So there's going to be some black parts that look like going around places on the torso, shoulders, the shins of the mobile suits. Definitely very, very dark black here. And last but not least, runner F is going to be all of our weapon parts for the Graze Ein. Now, this axe, although it looks very similar to the standard Graze axe, it is definitely different. So I'll show you that in a comparison in the review, just so you can see them right next to each other. Here we have our little turret parts. So interestingly and nicely, those are going to be just one piece each. So like the whole barrel of that is all one piece. We do have a little bit of hollow section here on this side, but that's not too bad. Also nice that the pile driver parts, they're also just one piece. So there's not going to be any seam line or anything on that small little piece. You could easily imagine that it's just like 2 pieces that you have to sandwich together, but luckily it's just one piece, so that will be good. So that's it for unboxing the HG 1/144 scale Graze Ein. As you can see, that 1,400 yen price tag, I believe, is very justified just by the fact that this kit definitely has more in there than the standard HG Iron Blooded Orphans kits that we've had so far, except for, of course, a couple exceptions, of course. As for if we're going to get a 1/100 scale of this, I personally don't really think so. But, I mean, you never know. I guess it could be possible. I think a lot of people would be happy about that. It would definitely be very huge just because of how big this is. Well, I'll take a look again in the review to show you guys a comparison with this compared to a normal Graze, of course. But until then, if you guys do have any other questions or comments, leave those down below. Otherwise, yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the review. Bye-bye.